Hey guys, per usual, everything on this channel is for educational purposes only and is not intended as financial advice. So if we mosey on over to coinmarketcap.com, we can see that King Bitcoin reigns supreme for the indefinite future. Ethereum is Ethereum, and really the important ones are Dash and Litecoin, which seem to be jockeying for position here over the past week or two. Litecoin has broken out on SegWit activation possibilities, which I think is decreasing at the moment, but overall SegWit in the near future looks good for Litecoin. And I said at the beginning of this series I would talk about the top 3 in by market cap, sans Ripple. Today's going to be a special video where I talk about 4 because I was going to talk about LTC, didn't end up doing a 4-hour follow-through video that day. But anyway, so let's go to Bitcoin. Let's go completely naked here. What are we seeing? Well, we're seeing lots of buying and no pullback this whole time. So that's suspicion number 1. If we pop on the cloud is accurate. It's telling me exactly what should be happening. If we just look at this rise compared to this rise, okay, here we can see that price was above the cloud the whole time, so the entry was cleaner. The entry here got more of the trend, let's say. Here the entry doesn't get so far 50% of this or more at least, okay? But the important part is this whole trend here trended on the Tenkan. Similarly, the current trend is trending on the Tenkan. Now you can see there was one special event here where we tapped the Kijun, which will be coming sooner or later. You know, if we just look at the time here, let's see, it took 9 days from the breakout, really from the TK cross, and you know, we're way overdue at this point. It's been 10 days plus. So I'm long currently. I'm not happy about it, but I'm long currently based on the hourly, not necessarily on the 4-hour. My 4-hour position got closed out on this candle right here. So that was that. And if we look at the fractals as to why, you can see we made a fractal here. So fractal here, move up your stop. Let me just shut this off here. Again, if you've never seen the videos, fractals, bear fractal is a high, low, high. Bull fractal is a low, high, low. Okay, if you're in a position anywhere, okay, let's say, okay, you're just following the trend and you see a bear fractal, you're long, you see a bear fractal, you move your stop. A bear fractal, move your stop. Bear fractal, move your stop, move your stop, move your stop, your stop down here. I relonged on the 4-hour breakout on the cloud, so I was long in here somewhere, and then my stop got moved up to here because here was the fractal, then I got moved up again to here, and then it definitely got stopped out. I had multiple positions, both got stopped out there, which was fine. That's the way the fractal should work. This saves you from the insane pullback that could have occurred to 1074 or 1110 based on the Kijun or the cloud support here. That's just on the 4-hour. You can play the fractals. You know, you can open a trade on the 4-hour, go to the 1-hour and look at the fractals. That's fine. I don't like to do that. You just have to be careful because then you're using quicker signals for a higher time frame trade, which doesn't really give it enough breathing room. But depending on your leverage, you might have to do that. So a bunch of caveats with the fractals. So that's cloud. Let's go to Heiken Ashi. I don't really see anything here. This buy looks super exaggerated to me as far on candles. Exaggerated as in it looks too good to be true. But like I said, I am already long, so whatever. But we did break the 1200 psychological zone, which a lot of people were watching. This is 1200. You can see we broke the diag on the A to C bullish butterfly harmonic. So we're above all that, and really we're above pivots too, which is kind of the most important thing in my mind right now. Target being 1400. You can see we broke pivot here, attempted a few times to make a new all-time high, and then the ETF stuff went down. So maybe this is the time. I don't know. The other thing is there's this active inverted head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder, with a target of 1350, which is essentially the previous all-time high. So there's a lot of confluence for a target between 1350 and 1400. If we look at the EMAs as far as long entry signals are concerned, we can see we had the 200 over 50 here, we had the 50 over 200 here. This is another reason why I went long on that 4-hour breakout here. All this is just good evidence for open along and hold it and put your stops where you want to put your stops, but the trend says this should go up. That is those two, and then lastly, let's just look at Heikin-Ashi here. Let's turn off all this. As exaggerated as it looks on the candles, Heikin-Ashi kind of smooths it out a little. And you can see there's clearly some momentum growth here from just this doji spinning top sideways business. This may be thought of as the heel. Price just finding one last time to attempt to retrace, and it didn't. So that's all the evidence for long. Like I said, I'm already long, so it is what it is now. Targets between 1350 and 1400. Expect resistance at the horizontals here, 1261, 1282. So anywhere from 1300 to 1250 probably. There's going to be some resistance, but we haven't pulled back yet. So why haven't we pulled back? We don't really need to pull back. It's just this straight 45-degree angle stuff has me a little worried. Some other evidence for the long would be a break of the median line of the pitchfork. That was drawn from the Finex dump to the high-low here. I know this is a mess. So all this stuff's telling me to go long, so I went long. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And lastly, I'm just going to flip to BLX because it's clean and it's already drawn. This is coming out in an article on Brave New Coin eventually, but the current setup for a bearish harmonic is definitely there. This is considered what I believe a shark. Again, 1.27 is what you're looking for. 886 is what you're looking for here. So whether or not the point is here or somewhere in here or whatever, the idea is this whole area is the short accumulation zone, and your stop if you're short would be 1285. And this would match my trepidation of no pullback going long in this. Now the target for this would be pretty deep between 1000 and 1050. So we'll see if it pans out that way. I've gained much more respect for harmonics as they seem to be working out lately. So I haven't seen this one before. Whether or not it'll work out, who knows, but it's there. Moving to ETH USD here. Candles by themselves don't really tell me much. You can see price is definitely below the 50, which is acting as resistance currently. Based on the current trajectory, you'd have to expect a 5200 cross. Great target is the 50% fib, which is between 27 and 30. Again, this is nothing new. If you've been watching my other videos, it's certainly below the 200 at this point. If you look, pop on the cloud here, we can see we have a bearish future, bearish cloud, and bearish TK. Price is in the cloud, lagging expands in the cloud. So as soon as price pops below cloud here, that's your short entry signal. Now, what we may get is one of these situations where we go through the Kumo twist and retest highs. It's hard to say which will happen. Just knowing in the back of my mind what Bitcoin will look like and what could happen, that's certainly possible. The Kumo twist is kind of like an opportunity if momentum is there for price to reverse trend, essentially. You can see here on the volume, this is all just consolidating volume. So the rising wedge is dead for sure. There may be something else here, you know, like a bull flag, dare I say it. It's nothing I want to be in long or short at the moment. The cloud is definitely echoing that. Anytime price is in the cloud, you don't want to take a trade. You want to wait till the trend has made a decision. If I kind of curve fit a few pitchforks here, which I don't know if this is technically even right to do, where the swing low is before the swing high. This certainly captures the trend, and you can see we're at the median of the current trend. This probably makes more sense, and it says we're just testing the lows here of this immediate trend, but you know, again, this buy zone right here, we come back to this 27 to 32 level, which says buy, buy, buy based on the pitchfork. So there's some more evidence for that. If we go to Heikin-Ashi here, and again, ranging, nothing you want to take a trade in, nothing I want to be a trade in anyway, and consolidating volume, and shoulder, head, shoulder, just the volume profile fits that. So whether or not this is a flag, whether or not this is head and shoulders, I think my article on Bitcoin Magazine was talking about head and shoulders here, certainly possible. And you'd be looking at a break of, you know, maybe this level, something like that. So all this is pointing to me anyway is momentum for down. Let's see what oscillators look like, and not really telling me much. Lower lows in price, higher lows, kind of just a bunch of nothing really. Just wait for the breakout, wait for the decision. Why take the trade now when you could take it as it's happening if you're, you know, in front of your computer or whatever, get the alarm or alert. But this whole zone is definitely juicy, like Peruvian chicken. If we look at ETH BTC, largely the same thing. Shoulder, head, shoulder. This random spike was weird. Still not really sure why that happened. Here is the descending volume profile. This would be the neckline here. So it's certainly flirting with the close below that neckline. And again, you can imagine that because look at all these wicks here. Super long wicks. And a wick here. So this tells you this zone is important for support and resistance. Should this zone break, expect price to go lower. Don't even overthink it. We turn on a bunch of stuff that I have here. What do we got? And again, I'm saying I like this zone. No surprise. On top of the flag. Anywhere from the top of the flag to the point of the flag, I really like as support. Look at the 5200. It's trying to cross below the 200 before the cross even happens. So if this is sideways and the 5200 cross happens, that's a strong shorting evidence right there. It's like we're here, you know, we're sideways and the 5200 cross, and maybe back here, sideways, just, you know, just sort of happens, just sort of there, and then all of a sudden stuff starts to happen, and certainly you get some noisiness in and out, head fakes, whatever you want to call it. But as soon as that happens, you're leaning short over long. As soon as price is below the 200, short over long. If you don't like the cloud, just look at the 200. We'll go back to the cloud here. Price is below cloud, bearish. Boom, end of story. TK cross, bearish. Lagging span below cloud, bearish. Cloud, bearish. All this is bearish. You can see it's right below the Kumo twist at the moment. So safe asks for this would be at the Kijun, the red line here. Because sometimes how I play this is I go like a low percentage just market buy when I see it. So like here would be the entry. Really this candle, this is hindsight obviously, but this candle reaching for the Kijun. It's on the Tenkin, so it's saying it's a faster downtrend. It's still kind of sideways. Is it sort of a raw falling wedge that I was talking about, I think, in the article as well? It's got some falling wedge action. So a bunch of messy stuff here, but definitely still leaning short, just like ETH/USD. And then lastly, Heikin-Ashi definitely follows suit. Bunch of red candles, no surprise there. Let's move to Dash. How did we get to now? Well, we had a flag here that broke up, some more consolidation here that broke up, then we had the M double top, broke down, no surprise there. Adam Eve currently attempting, and you can see VU, look how smooth this is. It's so beautiful, and then boom, denied. Now this is a bear flag on the way down and some sort of flag, bear flag on the way down. And this is a clear wick into support. So this whole zone, big support. Anytime you see a wick that size, you gotta be thinking to yourself, it's gonna take some more momentum to get that low or past that level again. So we turn on everything. This harmonic did not play out as expected, and you can see it broke past. The stop would be the fib from A to X, the 1.272, which I think was some ridiculous level down here, which is not recommended if you're on leverage. But anyway, the Adam Eve got denied, and this horizontal got denied. It got denied on this fib. So far we're leaning bearish. Let's look at the cloud, which is going to look pretty interesting. So there's some levels painted here for the edge-to-edge trade. So if it should price enter into the cloud here, close in the cloud, you'd expect with a high degree of probability that price will eventually touch these levels. Eventually, not being 10 years from now, but you know, within a few days or 4 or 5 candles, whatever it is. Point being, we did not close in the cloud yet. Here's your Kijun re-entry on the short. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles and wicks on the Kijun. So this is what you want to look for Ethereum. You can see, you know, we broke out. Okay, you missed that. you're waiting for an entry. It's just momentum. Okay, maybe you go short on the bear flag, maybe you don't, maybe you miss all this stuff, whatever. Ethereum is going to be the same way, most likely, based on how it's looking. So you just walk down your asks all the way down. And again, if you're looking at prior market horizontal support resistance, this is a great zone as far as support resistance is concerned. So however you want to play it, if you don't understand cloud, that's fine. But what I'm trying to get at here is, if you miss your entry, there's always going to be an entry. Okay. And let's say you miss this entry here. Fine. Your next entry short is going to be a TK recross bearish below the cloud, which is a strong indication of bearish continuation. Just like a TK cross above the cloud is a strong indication of bullish continuation. So whether or not a bearish TK cross will have enough momentum to bring us through this huge support zone, we'll see. I think bids in this zone are viable, despite what the cloud says. Your target would be these flat Kumos up here. So that's the cloud. Let's look at a few other things. If we turn on B-bands, pretty interesting. Not really telling you much other than a B-band breakout to the downside here, currently. Which isn't too surprising considering the Adam Eve got denied. God, it would look so beautiful if it was that. Now usually you'll find that the Adam is so deep, like this one will cut much deeper. And then the Eve is just usually higher than the Atom. Sometimes they're equal levels, but that would have spoke to a bullish reversal. This does not look like a bullish reversal to me until price re-enters the cloud. So that's B-bands. If we look at the 5200, again, another beautiful short entry. Here, exactly what the Kijun is telling you. All these wicks into resistance. I didn't see it. I don't really look at Dash much. Certainly not on an everyday basis, but so not only did it not break the Kijun on the candle closes, but it reached the Kijun, it reached the 200, and there was a 5200 cross. So if that doesn't get you excited about a short entry, I don't know what will, because that's as high probability as you're going to get. That's all I really have on Dash. If you look at Heiken Ashi, lastly, again, 3-4 candles in a row that are red with momentum. This speaks of lower lows to me, and if you're not in, just wait for the TK cross or play the B-band breakout and go a certain percentage, 20% short right now, and add to it later, or however you want to play that. But there's no harm, you don't need to swing your whole account around every time you make a trade. You can certainly trade smaller portions of your account based on what you're seeing. And lastly, let's move to Woke Rock. So you can see it had the 5200 cross, definitely a bullish entry signal. And again, you might get this pullback to the 200 a couple times. So if you miss the cross, bids here, just like if you miss the cross on Dash short, asks at the 200, okay? So we're breaking below the 50, that's certainly not bullish. You can see this stepson or something, double top, that's like, I don't know, but it's an M, again, just like Dash. What do you expect with a double top breaking the 50? I don't expect it to go higher. It's certainly not currently. You can see there's a tweezer bottom at the moment with 34 minutes to close here. So is it still overbought? What are the RSIs? Okay, so Stokes trying to bottom, cross here with a price above, Stoke above 20 would be great for long confluence. We broke 50 on RSI, which generally says this isn't going to continue outright on its own. If we turn on Cloud, Cloud doesn't really tell me much here, to be honest. We had the Kijun bounce here, but we didn't have it here. So at this point, you'd be waiting for the recross on the TK to go long on the 4-hour. But I really wouldn't even look at this on the 4-hour because it's moving pretty fast. I'd probably look at this on the hourly or lower. And again, with this double top here, you also had a bear div here. This is retrospective at this point, but I think I talked about it on the LTC video because everyone was saying LTC to 1 million, SegWit, blah blah blah. But as SegWit got denied, the technicals kind of matched, saying everything needed a pullback anyway. If we go to LTC USD, I don't really know where. I'm just going to go to Polo. The structure looks surprisingly the exact same. So buy support, tough to say, probably in here. The flat Kumo is telling you that. If we look at just fibs real quick, going from here, I always draw them backwards every time. Been doing this for 4 years, I have drawn backwards every time. So that makes sense, this 50 to 382 zone. I don't know, nothing I want to really be playing with at the moment. It needs some time to just relax and do nothing and go back to sleeping rock before I take any positions anyway. That's all I got for today. Thanks for the new subs on YouTube. Thanks for the new followers on Twitter. I don't know where you came from, so if you've seen me for the first time, let me know where you saw my stuff shared at, because a bunch of stuff came through. Hit me up on Twitter, Telegram. Let me know what you think about alts. Do you think they're going to go down with Bitcoin rising here? And happy trading.